Alright? Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all the Qam that's pushing this truth. Shalom. Today we'll be going back into the Apocrypha and we'll be going into the history of the destruction of Bel and Dragon. Basically just to give a brief summary, If you look at here at Bel and Dragon, it says cut off from the end of Daniel. Right here. So that means that this is actually a part of the book of Daniel. Like we brought out in a previous lesson about songs of the three holy children. So this one we'll just bring out some more edification, and showing you that the Apocrypha is a part of the Bible, So without further ado, we're gonna just go straight into the points, because the Babylonian, they had they used to worship this idol, this dragon, and it was pretty much the priest made a fool of the king. So in return, the king basically just slew him and his family, And so, we're gonna pick it up from there, right? So, we're gonna start at verse 23 in Bel and Dragon. We're gonna read from verse 23 to 28.
Right. This is Bel and the Dragon in the Apocrypha, verse 23 to 28. Alright. And in that same place there was a great dragon, which they of Babylon worshipped. And the king said unto Daniel, Wilt thou also say that this is the grass? This is of grass? Lo, he liveth, he eateth, and drinketh. Thou canst not say that he is no living God. Therefore, worship him. Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship the Lord of my God,
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
for he is the living God. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give thee leave. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair, and did seethe them together, and made lumps thereof. This he put on the dragon's mouth, and so the dragons burst in sunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods ye worship.
Right. So what Daniel do? Daniel basically made a bomb, and he blew that shit up, man. And when he done blow that shit up, he said, this what y'all worshiping? This piece of shit? This what y'all worshiping? We're reading along.
Let me just add a little something to that. Just like how you have the Amorites and the Moabites worshipping Buddha, which is the Chinese. Buddha, he sitting up one place, can't move, or he laying down. Right? So basically, you could blow that up too and say, this is y'all worshipping.
You understand?
Verse 28. When they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, The king is become a Jew, and he had destroyed Bel. He had slain the dragon and put the priest to death.
Right. he had slain the dragon and put the priest to death because the priest made a fool of him. You know, but which that goes back into Psalms 96 and 5, you know, for the gods of the nation are idols. You know, which disprove that these people here, these Babylonians here, they can't get this, you know, right? And these people here, they was basically pressuring the king, you know, to bring Daniel forward, you know. Let's go.
Right. Verse 7. This is Daniel chapter 6, verse 7 to 11. And all the presidents of the kingdom, the governors.
Salakia, right? Before you read that, let's read verse 29 in Bel and Dragon.
Alright. Verse 29 in Bel and Dragon. So they came to the king and said, "Deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thy house."
Right. So these same Babylonians who had great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, right? And this is what they were saying: deliver us, Daniel, and or else we will destroy thy house. So now we're gonna jump into the book of Daniel chapter 6, verse 7 to 11.
Right. Verse 7. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, and the princess, the counselors of the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree. Whatsoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions.
Right, and they basically conspiring to have Daniel put or thrown into the lion's den. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna give you the exact account as to what happened in the lion's den. All right.
Verse 8. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persian, which altered not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree.
Right. So these same princes and rulers and governors and consulars and captains, they conspire all of this, and they get the kingdom, you know, basically submit to what they was dealing with. So the king signed off on that. You see?
Right.
Read on.
And he went into his house.
10.
Sorry, Salakia. Verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and give thanks before his God, as he did aforetime.
Right. See, but now here's the thing, right? You have these princes and governors and rulers and captains and things. They know all of this about Daniel. That's why they conspire this against him.
Right.
You see what I said? So this whole plot was to get Daniel to stop following his God and stop serving his God.
Right.
You see? Read on, verse 11.
Verse 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God.
Right. See what I said? Now we can jump back into Bel and Dragon, and we can pick it up at, you could read verse 29 to 31 again.
Alright. Bel and Dragon, verse 29 to 31. So they came to the king and said, "Deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thy house." Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days.
Right. So he cast him into the lion's den 6 days because they put some damn pressure on the king. So the king ain't had no other choice because he's bound by his word. Alright, when which we read a little earlier that he signed off on that.
Right.
So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna jump back into the book of Daniel, chapter 6, and we'll pick it up from verse 13 to 17.
13.
Yeah.
This is verse 13, chapter 6, Daniel. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day.
Qam, right? Which, going back up a little earlier, you see that the king signed off on that.
Right.
You see, which he ain't had no problem with that to begin with, but he just do that because they was pressing him sore. Right.
Right. Verse 14. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him.
Qam, read on.
Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed.
Right. So they know Daniel was in there praying to his God and all that. So they basically reaccount to the king and reminding him of his law which he decreed. You know, because they know a man of his stature and position, he's bound by his word. You know, read on.
Right. Verse 16. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of the lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee.
Read on.
Right. Verse 17. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel.
Right, so at this point, Daniel was already in the lion's den. They already cast him into the lion's den.
Right.
All right. So now we're going to go deep into that account as to what happened in the lion's den.